Championship Sunday arrives for the Atownthrowdown here at Cedar Beach Park in West Allentown. Varsity girls, varsity boys, JV, and the Risers division all ready to crown champions. This is the Final Four featuring a pair of teams from Bethlehem. Liberty, the Hurricanes, a big win in these quarterfinals, will take on the mighty Golden Hawks of Bethlehem Catholic. Very pleasant good afternoon and welcome back to the Service Electric Network's continuing coverage of the Atownthrowdown. Mike Zambelli, Tracy Sear, and quite a Final Four that we have. The one team that we don't have is the defending champion Dunmore Bucks. Yeah, Dunmore got beat by Pocono Mountain West earlier today, but very competitive game. And it's going to be exciting here. We have Bethlehem Catholic and Liberty, and Lansdale Catholic against Pocono Mountain West in the semis. Liberty really became a story in this tournament with a win against Bensalem, 35-33. It came in overtime. Jared Carnes is trying to make the Hurricanes relevant again, and this is going to be a big opportunity for them against the crosstown rivals. Yeah, I mean, the play of the game was, he brought in the sub off the bench. He brought in Chloe Remmelhart, and she stood there and deflected the inbounds on the final play and able to get away with the win. Yeah, it truly was a team effort. And on the other side of it for Bethlehem Catholic and Jose Medina, now in his 9th year, they beat Council Rock North in the quarterfinals. The final there, 44-21. They were the wild card coming in here as they got knocked off by Bensalem earlier in the tournament. Yeah, and Bensalem is a team that, like we said, Liberty just beat in overtime. So it's been a very competitive tournament for all the girls' sides. There were 15 teams that started it in 5 pools, so all 5 pool winners advanced to today, and then there were 3 wild cards as well. So that's where we stand right now. Lansdale Catholic and Pocono Mountain West is your other semifinal round matchup that is being played on another court as we speak right now. Here is a look at what our schedule is going to be. Becca Liberty, the girls live, while Lansdale Catholic and Pocono Mountain West are playing on another court. We'll try and give you an update there. William Allen has advanced in the boys. That's a semifinal round game against Malvern Prep. And Phillipsburg, a real surprise in the boys' side, knocking off Parkland earlier today. They've advanced to run into the two-time defending champion Reading. And at 5:30 and 6:30 then we will crown our varsity girls and boys championship games. Needless to say, Tracy, this an opportunity as you get a look at Jose Medina, now in his 9th year. He has turned the Golden Hawk program into a perennial power, not just here in the area, but statewide as well. I mean, he's done a fantastic job since he's taken over reins there at Bethlehem Catholic. I mean, Bethlehem Catholic had a huge tradition prior to him being there, but he has continued it and actually grown in the program and having claimed 2 state titles in the last few years. Probably could have had a third had COVID not hit. That may have been one of their better teams, you're right. So Liberty will be wearing the dark blue uniforms while the Lady Hawks will be in the gold. And we talked about Jared Carnes. He's a graduate of Freedom High School, class of 2011. And what a win it was against the very good Bensalem team, 35-33. Emma Puxon hit the game winner in overtime to send the Hurricanes here into the Final Four. Lady Hawks win the tip. Will work from your left to right and immediately attacking the rim. That is Marinette Colon. Yeah, Colon's so aggressive to the basket. She does a great job for Bethlehem Catholic getting to the rim. Bethlehem Catholic, you'll watch this game. They play a lot of different defenses. Right now they're playing full court man-to-man, but Coach Medina will change things up. So if you're Coach Carnes, I mean, obviously an emotional win in the quarterfinals today, 35-33 in overtime. Are you concerned at all, or how do you really get them to reboot emotionally for what is another great opportunity against Becca? Well, they were also playing on this court that was running a little bit behind, so they had much less of a break than Bethlehem Catholic did in between games. So, we'll just have to see. I mean, this is what summer basketball is about. You play the gauntlet, and you just kind of play game after game in the heat here, and hopefully they could pull out a couple big shots. Summon that energy, huh? Ava Kopetsky, Jordan Thompson, Emma Puxon, and Layla Orth in the starting lineup for Liberty. Santos, Colon, Fernandez, Cici Hernandez, and Kendra Ringo, the starting 5 for the Golden Hawks, and they are off to a good start. That's Fernandez. I mean, she's good shot, three-point shooter. Bethlehem Catholic has a lot of three-point shooters on their team. Cici Hernandez is one of the best.
but that was Fernandez hitting it from the left corner there.
Contact on our first foul of the game.
And here,
pair of three throws for Ava Kopetsky. She had 5 in their quarterfinal round win. Good denial inside, but possession will stay.
you and I both saw a lot of poor foul shooting over the last day, yesterday with all those games, and looks like today there's no wind, there's no excuse, I guess, right?
Absolutely, and there's a little cloud cover today that has just kind of moved in, so that's given a little relief as well. Kopetsky able to secure the rebound.
Here's Bethlehem Catholic has 4 players up here on half court, really pressuring the ball, smothering the ball, really.
And they lost their footing, so that's going to go as a turnaround. This Liberty team under Jared Carnes trending in the right direction, Tracy. They were a couple of years removed from winning just a couple of games in the winter season. They won 11 times last year, and were close to qualifying for the district tournament. Wound up 11-13.
Yep. Here's Ringo. Ringo down low again. See her fighting for the rebound, going right up strong. She does a nice job of repositioning herself into the basket. Get a better angle.
So Kendra will step to the free throw line. Free throws have not been a given, at least through what we covered yesterday in the 7 games that we aired live in the Service Electric Network. Ringo able to knock down the first, goes 1 for 2. 6-2 lead for the Golden Hawks in this Battle of Bethlehem.
And again, there's the pressure defense Bethlehem Catholic puts on, forcing a quick shot. Liberty has to be able to handle the pressure. They're in this full court man-to-man.
Well, they forced the Hawks into a turnover of their own. It's been a staple of Jose Medina's program since he's taken over 9 years ago. They get after it defensively. And that's something, Tracy, that you've always talked about. You can have an off night offensively, but there are no off nights at the defensive end in terms of your energy and commitment.
Yeah, it's a nice dish. A nice bucket there by number 30, Julia Medaska.
That bucket belongs to Julia Medaska, as you mentioned. Hawks back to work. Fernandez 3 off the mark. Rebound dug out by Emma Puxon.
That was a nice job by Puxon, able to protect the ball, not allow Bethlehem Catholic to get in there and steal it from her.
Puxon is the daughter to Moravian head football coach Jeff. Jeff and his wife Erin have 3 children. Younger son Coles. Jake is a freshman on the basketball team and a rising performer on the varsity level as well.
Moving screen there called against Liberty.
First of 4 games we'll be bringing you here this afternoon. Pair of semifinals. The boys' Final 4 will air in just a touch under an hour from now. Allen and Malvern Prep will be our marquee game here on court number 1. Canaries battling their way through the tournament. There's a look at Jared Carnes. What a big win for this program. Beating Ben Salem. Played his high school basketball at Freedom High School. Went on to play 4 years at Penn State University Lehigh Valley campus.
Another turnover there by Liberty. Errant pass.
Offensive rebound, that was CeCe Hernandez. Hernandez, a great deal of varsity experience in this program.
2-year starter already, as you know, she's going to be a junior now.
Good anticipation. Fernandez has some help if she wants it. And nice sharing of the basketball, but it doesn't result into any points. Puxon there for the retrieval. Dasky has her second field goal.
It's a nice strong take there.
Julia has both their field goals, and we are tied at 6.
Bethlehem Catholic does a nice job of, sharing the ball here, looking to go high-low.
Hawks having trouble getting the ball in the basket right now. They've missed a couple at point-blank range. This is the second game of the day for both teams. And again, Liberty coming with an empty possession. Don't even get an opportunity at a shot at the basket. Ringo digs out an offensive rebound and cashes in with a pair.
And you can't expect to beat Bethlehem Catholic giving them second attempts every time down the court. So they got to make sure Liberty's got to check out, make sure Bethlehem Catholic is being kept to one and done.
Just to get you caught up from yesterday, 18-minute running halves.
Here's Ringo with the rebound. And again, takes it out to the short corner there. Nice little jumper and finished for Bethlehem Catholic.
18-minute running halves. Clock will stop once you get under 2 minutes if the game is under double digits. If it's a double-digit game at that point, the clock will continue to run as well. Hawks last year in this tournament, Tracy, you'll remember indoors over at Muhlenberg, got knocked out in this round against upset-minded and successful Executive Education.
That's correct. That was an exciting game last year.
Sure was. Sure was. And, really, we have kind of the same kind of scenario that, Liberty has had some very successful years over the years, district championships and league titles as well, but they've fallen on a little bit of hard times the last couple of years. And in terms of their growing process and taking the next step, this is a pretty important game for the program. I know it's the summertime, but well, you can take a lot of momentum and confidence if you can pull out a win here.
Definitely. And there's another offensive rebound for Liberty. Just couldn't finish.
That was Abby Thompson attempting a shot. She scored a half dozen earlier today against Ben Salem. That game was played at about 12:30. Ringo inside, maneuvering and showing good athleticism.
Yeah, that was a great play. Great play, able to, like you said, maneuver her way around the defense there and put up a reverse layup.
I've got Ringo now for a couple of field goals and a free throw to go with that for a total of 5. Jordan Thompson now operating offensively. Hawks doing a good job to limit Liberty to one and done.
A nice defensive play by Liberty.
Another one.
It was Puxon getting back there defensively.
Bethlehem Catholic looking to go down low here. Santos not able to finish. Nice rebound by Liberty.
Hawks are getting what they want offensively, Trace. Just outdoors, whatever reason, ball's not going in the basket. Here's Puxon looking for 3. Ring him up. Her first field goal of this semifinal round game. 8 earlier today, including a 3. And so we have talked about the game-winning field goal against Ben Salem.
Yeah, and there's a nice take again by Ringo. Here's Liberty setting up. Puxon, who hits the 3 from the outside. Much needed. Kept the game close here. It's a 1-point game. Ringo seems to be having her way, though, in the paint.
As he's creating problems for the Hurricanes defense. Now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. How'd you sleep last night, Trace? We had a long day.
It's not pretty good. It was a long day. It was hot. It was hot sitting here.
Yeah, it sure was. Pretty awesome, though. 7 games. Saw a lot of interesting stories develop as the day went on. Nightcap between Parkland and Camden. Going by way of Camden. Camden, well, we'll update you during the boys portion of our coverage today, but Camden has withdrawn from the tournament after last night, so those guys are out, but we still have a nice Final Four. Defending champion, 2-time defending champion Reading still alive. And of course, Allen continuing their push into the Final Four as well.
Bethlehem Catholic is really giving Liberty fits with their man-to-man pressure defense. Having a hard time making their passes.
Well, that's been the key. Jose Medina and the Hawks have won the last 5 East Penn Conference championships. They didn't have one during the COVID-19 pandemic, so the last 5 times they have played, it's been the Golden Hawks in a conference that, I don't know, Tracy, I don't know that the East Penn Conference really lends itself to one program dominating like that for 5 years. When you throw, I mean, you cover the games for us. Parklands, the Freedoms have had good years. The teams that Nazareth have had, Central Catholic. Oh my God! I mean, that's quite an accomplishment for this program.
No, definitely, and it seems like he always has his team peaking at the right time. You know, he knocked off Northampton, knocked off the Parklands. You know, it's there's so many good teams in the EPC.
Huxon able to get a pretty good look at it, just couldn't finish. Open look by Ella Binkorowski. Binkorowski getting her first shot attempt of the afternoon. Winner will advance to take on either Lansdale Catholic or Pocono Mountain West. That game being played as we are on the air right now. Pocono Mountain West knocking out defending champion Dunmore 43-36. That's a big win for the Lady Panthers. Nice little finger roll. You mentioned Cole Rummelhard, who came on for defensive purposes late, showing you a little offense.
Yeah, Chloe came in off the bench and defended that inbound, stood there, jumped up and down, and deflected the pass.
And now secures a miss. And the Hurricanes with an opportunity to take the lead here. They're down 1.
Well, listen, Mike, all my years of coaching, I know one thing I can't teach, and that's size. And when you put a kid like that in the paint, she's going to come down with a rebound. She's going to be able to get some tips. And she's going to take up a lot of space down low.
And look at her dig to get back defensively as well. Not easy in this kind of heat. That's Binkorowski scoring on the 3, her first field goal of the afternoon.
And she's been a staple for Becca last year, coming off the bench and hitting a couple shots here and there. That's her thing, 3-point shooting. And of course, she plays defense.
Huxon thought about a 3. We're at the 4-minute mark here. And a little miscommunication, and the Hurricanes will turn it over. Subs in on both sides.
And here's a kick to Binkorowski, and she does a nice job of burying that outside shot when given the opportunity. Bethlehem Catholic has a lot of deep 3 shooters. Cece Hernandez hasn't even gotten involved offensively yet, so I mean, she's their main scorer when she needs to be.
Hernandez wearing number 15 in yellow or gold. Binkorowski trying another 3, this time off the mark. Rebound to Layla Orth. Orth had 5 points in their overtime win earlier today. Fouled on her way to the basket.
Here's Fernandez riding her on the way to the basket, getting called for the foul.
Whistle blowing prior to the shot attempt. Puxon drops in the far corner. Hurricanes have shown good patience.
And that's what they need to do. They need to just keep working the ball, keep the balance court, keep the ball spread, and work for a good shot.
That one will come up short. Atownthrowdown being presented by St. Luke's University Health Network and the Service Electric Network. Marinette Cologne now back into the game for the Hawks. Hurricanes doing a good job so far, Trace.
Yeah, trying to take away Santos and Ringo. They're trying to run a little bit high-low inside there with the little triangle.
I mean, matching their intensity as well in the game. Left-handed shot attempt by Ringo draws contact.
And these girls have been playing together now, so you know they really know each other very well between Ringo, like a little high-low action here. And again, Ringo having no problems making those foul shots today.
I have her for 8.5 and 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Knocks down a pair. Best performance we have seen, male or female, in the tournament so far from the free throw line. And that stretches the lead to a half dozen.
She's got to look to take that shot. She had that nice penetration there. Wide open, nobody really picked her up. They let her have that. She could have taken that little 8-foot jumper right inside the lane instead of forcing the pass.
Yeah, you and I were discussing that little mid-range jumper, and the name Olivia Snyder came up. One of the best shooters we have ever seen, male or female. How's it? Update us on Olivia.
Olivia's recovering from an ACL. She is at Cornell. She transferred from Georgetown after her first year redshirting because she broke her hand to Cornell. Cornell in the Ivy League did not have a season during COVID, and then last year was the first season back, and Olivia was like 2/3 of the way through the season and she tore her ACL, but she's recovering now, and hopefully we'll be back full steam for this season.
She was a treat to watch. Puxon knocks down the first of a pair of free throws. And doesn't get the roll on number 2. She's got 4. And the Hurricanes to within 5.
20 seconds, court one.
Here Becca's gonna run a little high-low, I bet. My guess is Hernandez is gonna end up with this shot because that's who I'd have taken it.
Closing out the quarter, or the half, I should say. We're under 10 seconds. Hernandez gets it into the hands of Ringo. Hernandez forced to launch a 3. There's going to be a contact on a 3-point shooter, and that is a big, big mistake defensively by Liberty.
Yeah, especially with 1, maybe 2 seconds left on the clock here.
2 seconds.
It's 2 seconds on the clock. You never foul a 3-point attempt, especially at the end like that. You'll see Hernandez is a great shooter.
Her first point of the half.
She's going to get 3 of these. And one thing you'll see is she shoots them all the same.
Hasn't used the rim yet. No need for it.
She's an outstanding player. Great handle.
Well, and
great
she has
shooter.
Great deal of experience, too.
And only a junior.
I want to say a starter since her freshman year.
Yep.
Knocks down a pair of free throws, so she gets all 3 of them, and that is a big difference on that scoreboard.
1 time.
Oh, almost.
Desperation 3 by Puxon, just off the mark. It is Bethlehem Catholic 20, Liberty 12. We have reached halftime.
Liberty 12.
Halftime here in the Final Four for the girls varsity Atownthrowdown, presented by Service Electric Network alongside St. Luke's University Health Network, and an 8-point lead for Bethlehem Catholic, the Golden Hawks. Trace, let's dial up some highlights here and take a look at what we've got. Both defenses at times very disruptive and forcing the other into another number of misses.
Yeah, that's Cologne going straight to the basket there, and there's Fernandez. Hitting the ball from the outside, and then driving baseline here was Madaska. And then Ringo able to hit a nice little shot, and again,
That's Puxton.
Putson coming off and hitting. And there's our big Chloe Rummelhart coming in, getting big 2 points. But Becca does what they do. They hit those 3 balls, and Finn Kowalski comes off the bench and hits a big 3.
Yeah, she certainly did. There you get a look at it. Puxton and Madaska 4 each, 2 for Kopetsky, along with Rummelhart off the bench. Ringo leading all scorers with 9. Fernandez, Hernandez, Vinkorowski, and Cologne rounding out the scoring for Bethlehem Catholic. Well, what does Liberty have to do better in this second half to maybe pull off this upset?
Well, Liberty has to take care of the ball, make better passing on their offensive end, and be able to get some, buckets. I mean, think about how many inside shots, like 3-foot shots that Bethlehem Catholic missed in that first part of the first half, and they would really have run away with this. But, Bethlehem Catholic does a great job pressuring the ball, and Liberty's got to be able to handle that pressure.
I think you look at this matchup, and we talked about it being between 2 programs from the Christmas City, and talked about Allentown Mayor Matt Turek the other day. Willie Reynolds, who is the Bethlehem mayor, a graduate of Liberty High School. But, I think you got to be proud of the fact that you look at Liberty. Jared Carnes is a graduate and a product of the Bethlehem School District, a graduate of Freedom High School 2011, and Jose Medina is a graduate of Liberty High School, where he started as a baseball player.
Yeah, we got a lot of Bethlehem people here working it out hard, I mean, it's wonderful to see people stay in the community and give back the way they do in coaching.
Hawks go to work offensively. They made 5 of 15 field goals, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc. Their free throw shooting outstanding at 8 for 9. Liberty, on the other hand, 4 for 11, made 1 of 2 threes, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Liberty's turned it over 5 times. Becca has committed 1 turnover.
Bethlehem Catholic doing a nice job of keeping floor spread here with their offense, really making Liberty work. And again, Santos and Ringo inside do a nice job complimenting each other.
Again, the winner of this one will move on to the championship game. It's scheduled for 5:30. My guess is going to be we're going to be a touch off on those times, so you'll just have to stay with us. Lansdale Catholic currently battling Pocono Mountain West. In the other half of this Final Four, there's good movement without the basketball. Madaski couldn't finish it.
She got a rebound, put it right back in.
Nice job hanging with it, and her 3rd field goal. Important, 4 or 5 minutes to start this second half if you're Liberty and you're going to be relevant in this game.
Yeah, they got to come up with a couple stops. And that's the kid you don't want to foul. Again, here's Madaska making a nice cut, but following up her miss and finishing it.
Hernandez to the free throw line. Now a perfect 4 for 4 on the afternoon.
It must be hard to play on this court when you have that smell of the odor of all these Jamaican jerk.
Are you having a hard time announcing right now? I'll tell you, last night you had talked about it. After you did the second to last game. I mean, the smells and the vendors. I mean, it really became prevalent. I mean, it was. I'm surprised you couldn't smell it through the TV, to be honest with you. But you're right. At some point, you better not be hungry during the course of the game. Couple of free throws for Hernandez. She's now a perfect 5 for 5.
That's a nice ball fake.
That's Ruby Miller setting up Jordan Thompson in the near corner. Shot was all over it, just didn't fall. Malone had the ball stripped away on the way to the basket, and here come the Hurricanes. 3-pointers just off the arc. Puxton in there to dig out an offensive rebound.
And she does a nice job of drawing the foul on Ringo. Here's the shot, goes up. Putzkin does a nice job of pulling that board.
And of course, her dad was an outstanding football player at Allentown Central Catholic. Few remember, he was a pretty good basketball player in his own right, as Emma off the inbounds picks up a pair. She has a half dozen. And it is a 6-point deficit facing the Hurricanes.
And that was a nice play, a nice bounce pass in the out of bounds. Putskin was able to finish. And here's another pick and roll, nice defensive stop.
Hawks going to miss another at point-blank range. And Liberty there for the rebound and a possession to trim a 6-point deficit. Puxton now will set the offense at the point.
She's got to protect the ball. Hernandez has quick hands. If you present it, she's going to take it.
Mentioned her brother Jake, a freshman on the boys. Pretty sure he's getting a shot to make the varsity team over there. He's going to be a 9th grader.
Sub.
This
Here's
is nice.
Inbound, Putskin making a flash cut down the lane, able to pick up the perfect pass and finish off the glass.
You know, we sit and watch at home, but there's a lot of time spent on inbounds play, especially under the basket. I mean, during the course of a game, I know as a coach, you could pick up 8-10 points if you run good plays there.
You got to set good screens and be patient, wait for the players to get open.
Puxton now forced to give it up.
I think Liberty's doing a much better job this half, just keeping the possession of the ball and spreading the court.
Daska's pass, I believe, hit the out-of-bounds line, and it's going to be a turnover. That's that Golden Hawk pressure. I mean, we've seen it over the years. They do such a good job of turning you sideways. They just don't let you go north-south and attack the rim the way you would like.
They sure do keep you off balance. And he really has been staying in his man-to-man. He usually changes up to zones here and traps there, and you know, he does a little bit of everything.
Well, it is the summertime. You got to save a little bit for Christmas Day, don't you?
He'll save it for the championship is what I think. Hernandez drawing the foul.
I think they called it prior to the shot attempt.
They
No
did.
basket.
Here's a nice
No
penetration.
basket. No basket.
Calling the reach there.
At a higher level, that's an and one.
If she were to Euro step, they probably would have given it.
You mean the travel?
12
Hernandez
minutes. Court
checking
one, 12
baseline.
minutes.
That's good anticipation. Boy, Madaski read the play all the way and came up with a steal. Canes the other way, will not be able to take advantage. Santos in transition, forced to check off.
Yeah, can't leave that one open.
Long rebound run down by the Lady Hawks. And Karofsky's off the mark. And a rebounding foul coming up on Becca.
It's on Cologne.
Sub.
Liberty's doing a much better job of grabbing that board and holding on to it, drawing the foul, protecting the ball.
We're in the second half, Final Four of the girls' varsity tournament. Five pool winners, joined by 3 wild card entries, returning to Cedar Beach today. The quarterfinal round games were played at 12:30. The fall-away 3 is on the mark. That's Layla Orth, who has her first points today.
It was 2, I think. Was it 2 or was it?
It was a 2.
Okay.
Was it 2? Orth had 5 earlier this afternoon, and that trims the deficit to 4. Hawks unable to convert once again.
Nice job pulling down the defensive board.
Puxton's going to get a clean look at a 3.
Santos bringing the ball up the court.
Hawks 3 wayward. Liberty trying to force the issue the other way in transition. And getting a happy hop for the Hurricanes. And we all of a
10
sudden
minutes, court
have a
one,
2-point game
10
courtesy
minutes.
Abby Thompson's first field goal.
2 stops and 2 conversions. That's what happens.
22-20 Becca. They led 2012 at intermission.
Bethlehem Catholic taking their time. I know they want to get the ball in the hands of this kid, who can really make a lot happen.
Beautiful bounce pass.
That was really nice. Santos does a nice job of sealing in the paint
We
there.
got 9:30 left. Bethlehem Catholic calls their first timeout.
Santos' first field goal, and Beckel will use a
9:30.
timeout.
That's a 4-point game. Liberty's in this. Liberty was down 4, and they came back and won in overtime against Ben Salem. So don't rule them out.
How much stock do you put into being successful during the summer? Obviously, we've talked, Tracy, about building confidence, the camaraderie that goes along with it. But when you look at this Liberty program, you just get the sense that, wait, it's got to put a little bounce in your step no matter what happens here the rest of the way in this game.
Well, it's also about practicing for end-of-game situations. I mean, you're playing all these tournaments. I mean, he had the overtime game. Jarrett was coaching the overtime game. He called his timeouts. He set up plays. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but they were able to win down the stretch. So, that's what it's about, getting used to being and figuring out who your go-to players are going to be.
And the other thing you mentioned, I mean, you can't develop height. You also can't really, you can develop chemistry, and these are the kind of things that can help build that chemistry and the trust between the coaching staff and players and in key situations. It's an important time in the season.
Definitely. There's a lot of bonding. You're waiting between games. You're sitting together. You're, eating some snacks and stuff in between. And, and that's, especially all teams, I think, need to have good chemistry, and that comes with team bonding. And anything you could do from playing in a tournament or even going to a movie together or whatever, just bowling, finding something to do as a team during the off season or even during the season builds that bonding.
You're absolutely right. I mean, what a treat we've been able to bring to our viewers at the Service Electric Network. Yesterday, we had the battle of the Allentown Public Schools with Allen and Deerhoff. Deerhoff holding on for a 2-point win, and today we give you, it's not the two public schools, but two teams from the Christmas city of Bethlehem. So good local flavor.
Bethlehem Catholic showing a little different defense here. They got their 1-2-2.
You knew it was coming,
I was
didn't
waiting
you?
for it. I was waiting for it.
Scouting, you have a pretty good scouting report on Coach Medina, don't you?
I sure do. Done a couple of his games, watched a couple of his games. My kids played when he started coaching.
9
so
minutes, court 1, 9 minutes.
That's Hernandez off the mark. They're able to dig out an offensive rebound. Hernandez deals inside. Santos to the perimeter. This is Ringo.
Again, got to box out that shooter.
And this is the 4-shot possession potentially coming up for Becca.
You got to box shooters. Even if you're in the zone, you got to box the shooter out. Don't allow her to get her own rebound. Again, Becca's going to take their time, keep working it around till they get it to that kid who hits the 3.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. That is CeCe Hernandez's first field goal of the game, and it is a 3.
And what Coach Medina did out of that timeout, aside from changing to his own defense, is he moved Hernandez to the swing. Instead of having her run the point, he got her to the open shot on the wing.
Hurricanes missing a layup of their own. Thompson creating a good opportunity, couldn't get the finish.
8 minutes, court 1, we got it 8.
8-minute mark here in the second half. Winner will play for a championship in a few hours from now. Santos trying to secure a rebound.
Court 1, subs.
And she lost it out of bounds.
And here you see Hernandez, a couple feet behind that 3-point line, just burying that shot. She has deep range. I mean, we've seen her in the PPL Center take some really deep threes.
Yeah, coaches talk about defending the 3. I mean, you got to go beyond the 3 anymore, where kids can line it up, and even the ladies are adept at it.
And that's why the scouting report is so important. I mean, there are certain kids that toe the line, and there are certain kids that cross half court and have the green light. Ringo playing a little point guard here, going coast to coast.
Rebound secured by Liberty.
Court 1, 7 minutes.
We're at the 7-minute mark. Oh, wait, Liberty has missed a couple right at the rim. They're doing a good job of getting there.
This went from a 2-point game to a 7-point game, and this could be dangerous if they score again here.
Coming up next here on court 1, it'll be the Allen Canaries and Malvern Prep. Doug Snyder will be in for the Call of the Guys games today. Tracy will be back with me for the championship game among the ladies. Lansdale Catholic, Pocono Mountain West again dueling in the other Final Four.
Ringo, great move to the basket.
She's having quite a ball game. That's her first field goal of the half. She's the first to double figures with 11.
Nobody stepped up to help when she received the ball and beat her player.
6 minutes, court 1, 6 minutes.
6 minutes to play. That's Puxon maneuvering. And another high percentage shot wouldn't fall for him.
And Liberty's got to start doing some scoring in bunches. Again, here's Ringo receiving the ball in the out of bounds. She spins and goes right past her player all the way to the rim. Defense has to get there before the blocks.
Kopetsky, nice bounce pass. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Hawks.
Here's this beautiful pass. Ringo knocks it out.
Puxon off the inbounds, just to the right of our vantage point.
That would have been a big three. They really could have used that.
Hurricanes have had some good looks in their last 4 or 5 possessions and just haven't been able to put the ball in the basket.
Bethlehem Catholic's going to take their time now. They're going to work the ball around, wait for that open shot.
Again, we're a running clock. That ball was tipped. There should be no backcourt here, and there was not.
Coach Medina has a couple subs in there.
Here they come.
Well, and as we talked about, clock continues to run through those subs. I mean, that's another way to use the clock in the summertime. You get what would be normally a dead ball in the winter months, and you can extend. Look at the time that they just exhausted off the clock. By putting 3 subs in.
Bethlehem Catholic's JV team just joined their bench. I know they were playing for the championship of the JV League against Emmaus. I'm not sure who won that game.
There's a Risers division. Risers division featured 4 teams. The JV that you talked about featured Allen, Holy Redeemer, Becca, Freedom, Emmaus, Lincoln Leadership, and Deeroff.
Yeah, it looks like the Bethlehem Catholic JV team won the championship of that game.
Now, so the varsity trying to get to and play for a championship as well. Now you get the sense, Trace, that Liberty needs to score in this possession. And that's 5 straight possessions with a high percentage shot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're running down. It's 3 minutes left here, 3:25 or so.
The JV team we were talking about, congratulations to the Golden Hawks.
I think it was the championship. I think, according to the schedule, I wasn't sure what time. Pretty sure it was either the semi or the championship, but I think it was the championship that they were playing.
Three minutes, court 1, 3 minutes.
And again, Bethlehem Catholic's not in a hurry. They have a nice 9-point lead here. They're just going to keep working and wait for that open shot to come to them. There it is. They do such a great job of finding that open shooter. And they always have 3 kids that can knock down the 3 on the court at all times.
That was Yarian Fernandez. A 3 in the first half and matches it with 1 in the second half.
And there goes.
That's Puxon getting an answer. Was that a 3?
Yes, it was.
That's her second 3. She has 5 in the half and now 9 in the game.
2:20 left on court 1. Bethlehem Catholic calls
2
for a
minutes,
second
20
timeout. They got
seconds
one
to
more.
go. Hawks enjoying a 32-23 advantage. Bethlehem Catholic was in Pool A. They wound up the wild card. They beat Holy Redeemer but lost to Ben Salem. And then they returned here as qualifying as the wild card to beat Council Rock North earlier today, 44-21. For the Hurricanes, they were in Pool C. They qualified as a wild card as well. They were in with Reading and Lansdale Catholic. Beat Reading, lost to Lansdale Catholic, who we are kind of anticipating seeing perhaps in the championship. But a big win for Liberty here today, beating Ben Salem 35-33 in overtime.
This is a 9-point game. You know, Bethlehem Catholic has the ball. My guess is Coach Medina's telling them, let's lose the clock a little bit here. Liberty might come out and start fouling, but I don't know if they will because it doesn't really stop the clock. You know what I mean? You almost have to just fight for steals here.
Yeah. Pool winners included Ben Salem in Pool A, and Council Rock North in Pool B, Lansdale Catholic Pool C, Dunmore in Pool D. They were the defending champs. And Pocono Mountain West, with Emmaus qualifying as a wild card, were in Pool E.
Here's Hernandez with the ball.
2 minutes, court 1. The clock will stop at all whistles.
Clock now stops with each whistle, as it is a single-digit game, but it doesn't look like the Hawks are in too big of a hurry here, and I'm thinking Jose Medina might think 32 points is enough to win this game.
Well, and you could try to stop the clock now by fouling because it is under 2 minutes, but they have a lot of fouls to give.
140, court 1, 140. Debbie Stewart in the house.
Hawks eliminated in the semifinals a year ago, trying to take it one step further.
And Hernandez has such confidence with the ball. She does a tremendous job
130, court
running
1,
the show for Bethlehem Catholic.
Entry pass gets away.
125, court 1, 125.
Last touch by Liberty. Looking inside there to Kendra Ringo. Ringo's got 11 in the game, 3 field goals, 5 free throws. Three-pointer is on the mark for Fernandez. Didn't see that coming, Coach.
Yeah, I'll tell you, look back, she's one of the 3 that are in there that could shoot it. Those 3 guards can all hit at any time.
3 threes in the game for her. She has a total of 9.
Nobody guarded the inbounder, you know? She stepped right back in and hit that 3. And there's the other 3-point shooter I was telling you about.
They're not sitting on it now. That's Pinkarowski. Her second 3.
That's what makes Becca so tough. They play defense, they can hit the 3, and they have some nice post play inside between Ringo and Santos.
I unofficially have Becker for 6 threes in this game. That's a pretty good afternoon's work. That's the largest lead of the game at 38-25.
Coach is going to clear the bench here, I think, after building on that lead. 2 threes.
Hawks will play for a championship.
Here goes Hernandez, who could put on a clinic on how to shoot a foul shot.
Coaxes home the first.
That rim had a rough weekend.
Oh, it had a rough night last night in the final game, I can tell you.
Even this morning, the boys' game that was going on, Reading was playing. It was like a dunk every other possession.
That's a good call, I'll tell you.
Timeout, 37 seconds.
So just 37 seconds. Hawks have broken this one open. But encouraging signs for Jared Carnes and the Liberty Hurricanes. Not going their way in this one here, Tracy, but what a weekend, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, 4-day run.
And very respectable. I mean, like I said, they're getting the shots they want. It's all about getting better every game. And, you know, I've watched 3 of their games this weekend, and every weekend they continue to build. So,
you know, I've often said this, you know, the one thing, especially in the girls' side of that East Penn Conference, you could be better as a program and you could be improving. Problem's going to be is, does it translate into wins when we talk about the depth that teams have? I mean, Pocono Mountain West playing in the Final 4 here. That's one of the northern teams. You tend to forget about them. The girls up north in the East Penn Conference are very relevant.
Well, they have the best player in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Nice move. And that's something that during the season she might finish, you know? It's again, taking the opportunity to make the most of your...
Orth pushing quickly the other way.
Countdown, court 1, 10.
Thompson coming up with a
9,
loose ball.
8,
We're under 10
7,
seconds. That
6,
three's going to count
5,
for
4,
Layla Orth.
3, 2, 1.
Her
That's it.
second field goal. She'll wind up with 5 points, but it comes a little late. Bethlehem Catholic Golden Hawks will be moving on with a 40
Liberty 28.
28 final.
to 28 final. That will advance the Golden Hawks to the title game. See if we can give you some individual scoring here before we sign off. I've got Santos for 2, Darian Fernandez with 9, Cece Hernandez with 10, Pinkarowski wound up with 6 on a pair of threes, and Ringo leading all scorers with 11. In a losing effort for Liberty, I've got Orth with 5, Thompson a pair, Puxon winds up with 9, Kopetsky with 2, Rummelhart with a pair, and Medaski winds up with 6 points. Good tournament for Liberty, and for Becca, they'll be moving on, Trace.
Yeah, and hopefully, Bethlehem Catholic can take away from this. Like, hey, they had a nice team effort. They got a lot of what they wanted to do. They did, and the three-point shooting and some high-low inside stuff. And now we'll see if it's going to be Lansdale Catholic or Pocono Mountain West in the championship game tonight.
We'll keep you abreast, and we'll have that title game coming up for you. Next up, it's boys Final Four. Allen Malvern Prep. Doug Snyder will be in for Tracy. For all of us here at the Service Electric Network, including Tracy Sear, I'm Mike Zambelli. Thanks for tuning in to our live coverage of the Atownthrowdown.